Welcome to Gear Shift, a podcast dedicated to all aspects of vehicle ownership with your hosts, Christoph and Casper. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 10 of Gear Shift.
Hello everyone.
On the episode today, I'm joined once again by Casper.
Hello mate, I'm here to talk to you. This fucking guy came from Queens and shit.
And we're welcoming back Dominic Pelt to the studio.
I said it. How you guys doing? Welcome back. Welcome to Gear Shift.
Welcome back. And for those of you tuning in for the first time, thank you for tuning in. And I hope you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, I don't care.
Go fuck yourself. That's pretty much it.
Even if you do enjoy it, I don't care.
Either way. We love you all.
Yeah, it's episode 10. This is going to be our automotive mishaps.
I think it'll be a nice little
We've been talking about
today.
this episode since the very first one.
I think I'm definitely looking forward to this one. I think it'll be quite entertaining.
It's going to be a good one.
We might go a little long. I don't know.
We were thinking.
I have a list. We're going to go long.
Have you checked it twice?
I did.
Anyone naughty and nice on there?
Only naughty.
Just
Only
naughty.
I don't fucks with them nice people.
No, I wouldn't. We got a couple of things. You know the game. You know the rules. We got some stuff to take care of before we
Definitely.
dive right in, you know?
Some maintenance.
Madness.
A little madness. We're going to tap it up. We got one guy who continuously pays for this shit show to get on air. You all know him. You all love him. The Bearded Detailer. His Center Valley's. He's the guy.
Does he have a beard?
And he details.
Who would have thought?
Who'd have thunk?
Crazy.
Thunk.
Who would have thought?
Crazy. He is Center Valley's best choice for automotive detailing solutions. He is an authorized Opticoat installer. He is an authorized Laminex dealer, and also has a hookup for OEM and maintenance and performance parts. So there's a swag store online. You can contact him at 570-205-0255 or thebeardeddetailer.com. And here's a little something just for you guys. Don't tell anybody, but this is just for you. If you use the promo code GearShift in the online swag store, you're going to get a nice, not too nice, 10% off your order.
Smooth and creamy.
Boom. And if you're out of state, you don't pay tax,
That is actually pretty cool.
but you'd have to pay for shipping.
Balances right back out. Fuck that.
And while we're on the topic of sponsorship, if you want to give back to the show and help us keep going and be able to create more content and we want to be able to give you more than just our lovely voices once a week. We want to be able to give you more. I'm a giving person. I've been told I give too much.
Okay.
I'm a passionate lover. I just give too much of myself. So
All of it? You give all of it? Or
and then I give more than I'm able to give.
So you're in debt is essentially what you're saying.
Sexually, yes.
you call in reinforcements?
I've been known to. I've dabbled. Anyway, so if you want to give back to the show, go to www.patreon.com/gearshift, and you are able to give a monthly donation to help us cover some of the hosting costs and whatnot of the show. We will greatly appreciate it and thank you for it. It is a thankless job doing this. Podcasting is a thankless job. Has anyone thanked you for doing this?
Not so far, no.
No, I haven't been thanked.
No.
Have you been thanked for being on? Well, I mean, we've thanked you.
No, people have thanked me for saving you guys.
Ooh.
That's fake news. That is fake news. Yeah, go to patreon.com/gearshift. Give us a little something. There's different reward levels there. We'll for certain levels of giving. And nothing is not appreciated. So give away.
Support the hustle, as they would say.
Exactly. So
Truth.
with that being said, so that's done. Let's move into contests. We didn't have another question of the week this week.
No.
If for those of you not on the East Coast, we got hit with a nor'easter this week. So that kind of I didn't have time. I was plowing.
A little, dampen things just a bit.
I was plowing some snow. I measured here just under 12 inches. We have like 11 3/4.
Something. I think it was a little less by us, but similar.
So Chewy. I know it's an audio episode, but I got a new puppy, and he is roaming around. His name is Chewy.
And he's biting shit.
Yeah, he just decided to start chewing on a tripod. You know, whatever. He's a cool dog, though. He's a cool little pup. Shout out to my main man, Chewy, who shit on my floor this morning. But anyway, so we didn't do the contest of the week. I'm going to try my best this week. I don't have as much going on this week, so I'm going to try this week to have contest of the week back on this week. And moving on to the other contest, which we've also been talking about for the last 9 episodes.
Yep.
Regards our intro, the car launching in our intro. I'm a little disappointed. I'm not going to lie.
Just a smidge.
A smidge. We had one person submit an answer. 10 weeks and one person.
I'd be a little more than a little disappointed.
Well, again, I'm generous. I give too much. So I'm not as disappointed as I maybe should be. Maybe I need to give more disappointment. Maybe.
And yeah.
Dish it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed, guys. And it's funny because the one submission we got was wrong.
It was close.
It
Very
was
close.
half of the question was right. Now it was a 2-part. You had to guess the model and the engine. Because
Perhaps that is a bit complex.
It is.
Perhaps.
Well,
Just a
it
smidge.
is.
Well, no,
because I feel like if they at least guess the
we were
engine.
just having this discussion about the engines and how similar they all sound.
The reason I say it could be a little complex is only because the car that the engine is in is not going to change the noise that it's making. Realistically speaking. So
true.
that's the only thing that was catching me off where it's like, we have that, but if somebody can, I feel like it's more difficult to guess the motor. Well, actually, no, I shouldn't say that. It's more difficult to guess the car that it's in.
Because
actually,
it's an audio show. I'll
Because it's
agree
an
with you
audio
there.
show, yeah.
Okay. Well,
I think you owe your audience an apology now.
Well, no, because
sorry.
because the half that he got right was not the engine.
Well, technically,
No, there's no technically. It's not right.
it's in the family though.
Can I say it?
It's
So-
in the family.
So it was a Mark IV R32 from Europe, and with a 3.6 swapped into it.
VR.
So
They say VR because it is not like a V6. It is not like an inline. It is staggered.
it's an inline V,
Yeah.
hence the name.
Yeah.
But I mean, there is a difference between the 3.6 and the 3.2.
There is. I think
There is.
the angle is slightly
The
wider
angle,
on the
yes.
3.6, right?
Yep, it's a difference between 11 and 15.
15.
I know there's a decimal in there, but it's 11 and 15 for whole numbers.
Yeah.
The 3.6 is the only one that changed the angle. That was it. But yeah, so tough luck. Next time, from the next 10 episodes,
What
we'll
was the
have
prize?
a $25 gift card. So free money. Free money. It was financially irresponsible for you not to participate in this contest.
I mean, technically, since you guys admitted that, maybe you were kind of wrong in doing a whole different chassis, different engine thing. I did guess Passat 3.6 when I was here last time. So technically, I won. So can I have the gift card?
Yeah, but we also said that you were... We also said you were exempt from it because we told you the answer.
Yeah, but I guessed before you told me the answer.
You're still exempt. Anyway, guests are exempt from all content.
Oh, it'd be like that now?
It's in the fine print.
It's clearly. If you read your contract, Dom.
I have a law degree, okay? I mean, clearly. No, and I never admitted fault here. Casper might have.
I did.
I did not.
I think the ambiguity.
Well, you
is
guys
just
are a
little bit wrong.
team, so
I just feel like
he speaks for you and you speak for
No,
him.
I think it was a fair.
No.
I think it was a fair contest, but it was a little difficult. So I think this next time around, it'll be maybe just a little bit simpler.
I think we'll just do just motor. From
Just
here on
motor,
out.
yeah,
Because
if
I
you can
can't. Another
figure
thing,
out
we
what
can't.
it
We
is.
couldn't change the rules halfway through.
Yeah, that was the other thing.
Or 3/4 of the way through.
Because
So,
initially I think we mentioned like in the first or second episode where we said it was going to be yada yada.
We mentioned it
so
early on. So I think from here on out, the next 10 episodes will have the same car.
new
a
car.
different car,
Yeah, a
but
new
it will be
car.
the same for 10 episodes.
Yeah.
And
Is that going to be season 2?
no, I think we're going to do groups of 20
Oh,
for
okay.
seasons. I think is how we're going to.
Can I make an episode suggestion?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we already have one that's a free for all, so we can always replace that one.
Well, I was thinking project cars. Like
Project cars
dedicated.
could
You just
No,
want
no.
to talk about your Audi.
No, I'm just saying. I think it would be a good episode
was like,
for people
Look,
to.
I don't have 8 years of recording space on my computer.
There would need to be.
All
a
right,
last
I'm
bit.
done here. Casper, take me home.
You're done here. No, you just go sit outside and you wait for us to
Fine,
finish.
I'm going to take Chewy with me though.
No. So we'll do the contest again, and it will be just motor from here on out.
Yeah.
Is it going to be the same
Or just
sound
because the
clip?
car, you know.
That I played for you earlier.
Well, no.
Oh no, not the one that's been for the last 10.
I thought you were going to give it another shot.
No.
Oh, no.
No, because we just told you
We're
what
just
it
talking.
was.
What do you fucking got? Now, if you guys knowing the answer don't guess anymore, there's a problem.
I guarantee you, no one would still email.
No.
Oh, wait. You have to email?
Yeah.
I feel like
See,
we should make it a grand
already
submission.
too much
No.
work. That's already too much work.
Not really. You could have messaged us on Instagram, Facebook.
Slid into the DMs.
There's the link on Instagram takes you right to the Gear Shift webpage where there's a submission. You just fill it out and send it.
Yeah.
I tried to make it as easy as possible.
I figure commenting on the gram is going to be easier too. So
Well, if you
we'll try to
if you
push that.
comment though, other people can see
Can
the
see it.
answers. So, but
but you're still the
a
first one to
message.
comment if you're right? Well, no.
If you're the
Actually, no.
If you're the first one,
Because somebody might have the right answer and they might be just commenting afterwards. You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So we'll give it another go for the next 10. New engine,
New car.
new car, new engine.
No.
A lot easier to guess.
No chassis swaps. No
No.
motor swaps into chassis is basically.
Well, no, we could, but we're only guessing the engine.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it doesn't really
true.
matter. It could be a Fiat with a fucking LS in it, and if you guess LS 7, then great, you win. But
Yeah.
which now I feel like I have to find a Fiat with an LS 7 in it.
I'm sure it's been done.
I've seen
I'm
them.
sure it's been done.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so contests are done. Everything's done. I think we can dive into the main event.
The meat
Yes.
and potatoes.
That's some damn good Strike Force. Strike Force energy. I have it in a LaCroix sparkling water. I call it the French Resistance. 'Cause it's a French company, and
LaCroix.
I put in this energy, which I know I've said it before. I strongly recommend if you like energy drinks, StrikeForceEnergy.com. Get it. They come in packets, or you can get the big pump bottle, which is what I have.
It's like a syrup.
No, it's a liquid. It actually is liquid, which is nice because it's not thick like a syrup. And it's not a powder because powders can get messy when you're mixing that shit. So it's really nice. It's awesome. There's no sugar,
It's
too.
almost like a perfume.
Have you given Chewy some of that Strike Force? Because he is going in on that toy over there.
No. And the kids are going to be upset that toy is going to be ruined, but...
Just put some tape on it, fam.
What does he have?
A ball.
Well, now he's got the ball that's no longer a ball.
Okay. Have at it. Go at it, fam. And so, Dom, you're having some Black Rifle coffee. I gave you the espresso, the AK-47 espresso. How you liking it?
Much better than the stuff you gave me last time.
I don't remember what it was. The lame stuff I gave you last time. I just might
Last time it tasted watered down.
I probably added some to it because
Yeah.
I did the AeroPress, so instead of a
okay.
pot. So that
No, it's good. I like it.
and then did you finish your Tetley tea over there?
I did. Was that Tetley tea? I actually don't know what kind of tea that was. What kind of tea was that?
Tetley green tea?
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a whole box.
Yeah, it's pretty
of
good.
Tetley
Definitely.
green tea. So,
I'm a big fan of Lipton.
I am too. I do like Lipton
Same.
actually. Tetley is good. It's Tetley and Lipton. That's
Is
really
one of them British? Like, is one? I mean, like,
Tetley.
is it?
I think
Tetley is right. Tetley. Yeah, it sounds like it would be.
Absolutely.
I think it's actually Indian, but it was
Really?
over. But it's British control back.
Yeah,
when it was
well,
British control.
that's-
If
yeah.
I remember correctly.
Yeah. There was some invasion.
I
there
do
at
know
some
my
point.
I do know my British history.
The sun never sets on the British Empire. Yeah. Enough of the history lesson, guys.
Yeah. I think you mean herstory.
Herstory. Yeah.
Hashtag feminism. So let's dive in. We're gonna
You
get into
just lost your only female viewer, probably.
but I gained 20,000 more. No, actually, I did want to quickly say we're in 4 different countries.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
International?
Yeah.
United States is obviously our primary, but we have downloads in Canada, in Ontario, if I remember correctly.
Wasn't there somebody in Montreal as well?
No, I think it's just Ontario.
Just
I might
Ontario?
have read it wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
It's just Ontario.
So Canada, U.S.
Canada, U.S., Poland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how we got that one.
I wonder who it is.
I really wonder who it is.
It's from one place.
It's like
Where
one of
is
our,
it?
It's like one of our fucking grandma, just Babcha, just fucking sitting in the fucking house.
With she's got like a radio with a big antenna, and somehow
it
it
just picks up fucking podcast.
It's a potato with an antenna. Let me pull it up, and I'm not gonna be able to pronounce it, of course, because I think it's got like
She's
20
sitting there like
consonants.
Toto Kurva est.
Is it give us the city or the name of the
It's
person?
just state. It's just state.
State.
Well,
Poland doesn't have states,
it's called a state.
Okay. It's a province.
No, I haven't even pulled it up yet.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
almost there.
Well, then, yeah. So this automotive mishaps, I think.
Oh, and we're also in India. That was the other.
Oh, cool.
We
Yeah.
have downloads in India.
Wow.
India.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's unexpected.
That's yeah.
Threw me for a loop, but
Honestly, to be honest with you, anything past the United States and Canada to me was unexpected. So I'm happy.
Actually, to be honest with
I'm
you,
surprised we don't have any Mexicans listening.
we don't. Do we really appeal to the Mexican audience?
I mean, we might. I don't know.
I mean, they
might happen.
they have cars in Mexico.
They do.
You drove there the other day on your bike.
Oh, actually,
Yes, I did.
True.
funny story.
How funny is it?
Some dude just imported a Beetle RSI into California through Mexico.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's got the 3.2 and the all-wheel drive.
That's pretty dope.
I do like a 3.2.
Yeah, from the factory.
That's pretty awesome.
Malopolsky.
Małopolska, yeah.
Well,
Okay.
actually, it has two here. Are they the same? Is that really the same? Vieki?
Oh. Mazowieckie. Yeah, that's...
It's two. I don't know if that's the same area.
No. Well,
Okay.
It's registered as... Ow, that hurt. It's just registered as two different... I don't see how to say. I will admit that I don't know my Polish geography very well.
Well,
but
the whole country is shaped like a potato.
Yes.
It is, actually. I've seen many potatoes shaped like Poland before.
Look at this like it's homeland.
Which, by the way, for those of you who did not listen to last week's episode, you missed out on a good time. It was a very good episode. And Casper's translating skills
We're on
fleek.
I had multiple people message me after saying...
they were hilarious.
And you know what's funny is as you were saying it, like I knew something was off because I know how you have pronounced my name.
Yeah.
And you didn't say it.
I didn't say
so
it.
I'm like,
My name is Cruz. Yeah,
I'm just gonna keep going. No names were ever said, so I'm like, and then later you told me. So tell the audience what you actually said.
Yeah, so when he said my name is Christoph, I said that I have a small penis. That was my translation. Then he said, what the hell did you say after that?
I said that you were here and we welcomed back Kevin.
Well, yeah, he was like, I'm here, on this podcast, and I said that I went to the grocery store to get groceries because we were running low. And then he said, and we are here with our good friend Kevin, and I said we also found some drunk on the street that we just decided to put on the show.
Yeah, so that was the actual translation if you listened last week. If you didn't listen last week, go back, and now you can have a laugh.
Ha-ha.
It was a good episode.
It was
Yeah,
very
I thought it flowed very well.
And we did it for Dale.
We did. But there's some of us that are not ambi-turners.
Wait, would be ambi-turners.
No. There are some of us that are not ambi-turners. Some people can't turn left. Dom cannot turn left.
I choose not to turn left.
He has the Zoolander disease.
I don't do it for Dale.
I'm
the anti-Dale.
Well, that's as un-American as it gets right there. I had a lot of respect for you up until that point.
He's been plagued.
You're lying.
He's been
You
plagued
had no
by
respect for me.
Well, I have even less now. Regardless of how much I started with, there's less. And Kevin will never talk to you again. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I don't remember the last time I spoke to Kevin anyway, so I think I'll live.
That's good because it'll never happen again. One day you're going to want it. Like, man, I really just want to talk to Kevin. Nope.
About things.
Kevin will throw his phone off of a boat before he talks to you.
I kind of want to talk to him just to see him do that.
But you wouldn't talk to him, though.
I'll try to.
Yeah.
Which will make him throw it off his boat. So, success. Great success.
So let's get into automotive mishaps. I do have a lot. People wrote in actually quite a few.
Really?
Which is nice.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
But you couldn't enter the contest?
Yeah.
Seriously,
fucking
fam.
assholes.
Seriously. Fucking God.
I'm thinking maybe we could do like a one at a time sort of thing going around the clock or something.
I have about three. You have two or you said three, but two are integrated together.
I have a list.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Let's just do top three. Or even top two or top three, whatever.
Some of these lead into the other ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be the Dom mishap show. Nobody else is going to get to talk.
Well, I mean, you chose the right person to be on, let me tell you. No, a lot of these are near mishaps.
Yeah.
Not so much.
And they're not very long.
No, there's some of them that are short. There's one or two that are long.
Well, whoever wants to go first, we'll go first.
And there's a lot that we
have shared.
Okay.
There's one involving a Volvo.
Yes.
I have a feeling there's like 20 involving a Volvo.
Well, there's one on my list.
Involving?
Yeah. Involving.
I just created a new word, involving.
So I think I could kick it off with a fairly easy one actually. So my first like legit mishap was I was just kind of like I was on my fourth car I believe, and this was the first time I was actually starting to actually work on cars.
Which car was this?
This was the naturally aspirated Volvo 850, the very first one
with those wonderful yellow headlights.
Yes,
and
which
bronze, gold, orange wheels.
fucking come fight me. They were legit.
It was the car that started it all.
It really was.
That buying that car was the mishap.
This summer, in theaters, coming soon this summer, Casper's Volvo, rated G.
You will die if you get there. Rated G. But yeah, actually the manual transmission that's in that wagon is still from that car. So I've had that transmission.
It's
in my
been
possession.
passed down from
Maybe
mishap to mishap.
maybe there's bad juju surrounding that transmission.
I hope not.
Did you say juice or juju?
Juju.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to clarify. I don't want to lose that audience.
So yeah, I'm working on this car.
Do you have many downloads in Borough Park, New York?
It just tells me New York City, so I don't know.
But yeah,
God,
so
that was
so
bad.
I started working on on this car, and I picked up a bunch of stuff. I wanted to do a tune-up, right? Because I didn't know when it was done and whatnot. So plugs, wires, the usual stuff. So I followed the Haynes manual that the vehicle had at the time. Pulled everything out and everything, swapped the plugs, swapped the wires, swapped the cap and rotor. And I started the car, and the fucking car is running like a tractor. It just sounds horrendous. And I have no idea what the hell is going on. Like, it just sounds horrible. I hear popping come out of the exhaust. I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. It sounds like I have an exhaust on the car. Yeah. So me being me and not being smart, let me try to drive it and see how it feels. So I go to pull it out of the garage, and I get on the throttle, and the car is just barely fucking moving. So I turn it back off. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck did I do. Lo and behold, I hooked the wires up to the distributor in an incorrect order.
Oh. You just thought they go anywhere?
It was actually the first time I looked at it. It was kind of confusing, and I think I swapped the 3 and the 5, so that the fucking ignition timing was just not happening. So it was just that's literally what the car sounded
And,
like.
it is a testament to how cars will run incorrectly.
Yeah.
They'll run.
Yeah.
Just for how long?
Yeah.
And what's going to get damaged?
So yeah. So that was my first shitty one.
Which is nothing huge, but
nothing. Oh, it gets there's better stories.
It could have gotten worse,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
So, Dom.
Oh, where should I start? Hold on.
Well,
Let
start
me
off
check.
with like a not
Most-
technical-
You know what? Let me
Most
start
people-
off with the most recent one.
Most people start from the beginning.
Yeah, let me start off with the most recent one, actually. I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to be a Pollock.
Okay.
$1,200 center caps.
You what?
$1,200 center caps.
You bought $1,200.
So wait, is this
No. I bought $170 center caps, and they ended up costing me near $1,300 to put on.
Go on. Wait, is this a mishap or just a poor purchase decision?
No, it was a mishap.
Okay.
It was just like one of those days where nothing goes right, and you just need to go sit in the corner away from everything, or
And
go
even
sit in like
then-
a soft padded room somewhere. So
And
nothing
even then,
happens.
something will still go wrong.
Yeah.
The padded room will burn.
So Jeremy Dietz had posted these blue and gold BBS center caps.
You didn't tell me about this. Okay, go ahead.
You tagged me. In
I know.
them.
I know. I tagged you for the center caps, but you didn't tell me the story.
Oh. Whoops.
Fucking dick.
Well, he's telling you now.
Clearly.
So
Sorry about your domestic relationship here. I'm sorry. Your partnership's
We're
down
working
to-
on
on
things. We're seeing a
Facebook, on
therapist.
Facebook, it's complicated.
Of course, it's complicated.
We're seeing a therapist.
So I had purchased these center caps. Okay, I felt like BBS went on my Instagram, saw that my car is blue with gold BBSs, and I feel like they made the center caps just for me, so I was obligated to buy them.
Right.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah. I mean,
It would be financially irresponsible of you not to
to.
buy them.
exactly.
Exactly.
My thoughts exactly. And I have gotten like a whole 3 compliments on the center caps, so they've basically paid for
Pay for
themselves.
themselves, clearly.
So one day I decide, you know what? I'm going to go change these center caps. So I got the 2 on the passenger side on. The wheel came off, no problem. Now I have a stud conversion on my car.
Right. Only way to have. It's the best way.
Yeah, I every car I have has had a stud conversion, and I wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got to the driver's side, and I'm going to break the lug nuts loose, and it broke.
The stud.
No, the hex part of the lug nut sheared off of the seat part of the lug nut.
Where did you buy your nuts from?
Motorsport Hardware.
Oh, wow.
They're not 2-piece.
No. Well, they are now.
Well, they were now, yeah. But how does that happen?
I think when I went to torque them during my track day, I'm not exactly sure what happened, but I guess from the heat they must have welded themselves to the studs. or seize themselves
but
onto the
I
studs
still don't know how a one-piece nut can become two-piece.
by breaking it.
Well, yeah, no shit, I know that, but like I don't get the logistics behind it. But
So I'm like, fuck, like I can't get my wheel off at all.
did you only break one or
No, 3 of them.
Oh wow.
so when?
You just continued fucking doing it.
I wanted to see if the other ones would come off.
I was just gonna say that. I'm like, at what point did you go? I fucked up.
Well, I mean, how else was that?
Well, yeah, they had to come off
Yeah,
eventually. So yeah, that makes
somehow,
sense, yeah.
some way. So I'm like, fuck. So I call up my friend who's got a shop out in Long Island. He's a little deep in Long Island. So I'm figure Queens is what, exit 18?
Yeah.
18 on the Long
Yeah.
Island Expressway?
Well, 18 and 19.
Yeah, 18 and 19. And my friend is on exit 50.
Ooh, that's a decent drive. It's about an hour.
53. He's exit 53
Yeah.
on the LIE.
Hour, no traffic ish. Something like that. Maybe a little less.
Yeah, 50
Yeah,
minutes to an hour,
yeah.
no traffic.
Yeah.
This was in rush hour traffic. So I call him up. I'm like, listen, I have an issue. I need to get these center caps on because they're bitching. I need my wheels off. Yeah, no.
Priorities.
End goal was center caps on.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, come through. We'll figure it out. So I'm driving. And I got Google Maps. My phone's on my passenger seat. You know, I'm not driving fast. I was doing 5 under the speed limit because there was traffic. I'm in the right lane. And exit before I have to get off. Exit 52. I have to get off at exit 53. Right. Google Maps says something. I don't know where the fuck I'm going because I've only been to his shop a handful of times and I don't remember how to get there. I pick up my phone to look at Google Maps. Oh, get off at the next exit? Okay. Put it back down on my seat. As I have the phone in my hand, Suffolk County Police drives past me on the highway, slams on his brakes, pulls up behind me,
Yep.
pulls me over. So whatever, he pulls me over. I was in such a rush to get to my friend's shop, I left my license at home.
Which, honestly, I don't know why it's a huge deal.
I gave him a picture
like,
ID
I was
from
gonna say, it's not
back
like they
from
can't check you.
I gave him a
mean,
picture ID from college and a credit card to match my name and stuff, and he was fine with it.
Because they can look it up. It's not a huge deal. I get that you have to be able to prove who you are.
So he didn't nail me with a cell phone ticket. No, he got me with worse. He nailed me with an operating a portable mobile device, which is worse in New York. And on top of that, gave me a front plate ticket.
What a dick.
A no front plate ticket.
No front plate ticket.
Well, I mean, that's on you.
Yeah, no, that I could
That one's whatever.
But it's like you already gave me the
Yeah.
the cell phone ticket. Why are you just gonna
He just wanted to tap that nail in a little bit more.
he's twisting the knife.
No.
Yeah.
So whatever.
I've heard of people that it's something so small turns into this huge. Like I worked with a coworker once. He hit a pothole on his way to go get a hoagie. He's like, that turned into a hoagie or sub, whatever you
A
people,
hero?
whatever
A sandwich?
you fucking people call it. No, a sub, like a fucking hoagie. It's a hoagie. I don't care what you call it. It's a hoagie. You're in my house. It's a hoagie. Anyway, he went to go get a hoagie.
Sandwich.
And it ended up being like $1,000 hoagie
Napa.
because he hit this massive pothole. All this work later, it ended up being $1,000 hoagie. So,
Yeah.
it's that same situation.
So now I get to my friend's shop. I'm pissed because I got the ticket. We ended up being able to extract the studs,
right.
but now I need all new studs.
So wait, let's backtrack on this. So when they broke, the halves separated.
Yeah.
So were you able to spin the hex part off?
No.
So they were seized on top of it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The lug nut itself was seized.
So were you spinning the stud?
We had to extract the stud out of the hub.
But what I'm trying to get is when you were trying to spin the hex part, since that was seized to the
while
stud.
the wheel was still on,
right. Yeah.
nothing would spin, and that's hence
couldn't
why
move it.
So nothing would.
Hence
you couldn't
why
spin
the
anything
lug
at
nut
all.
sheared into 2 pieces.
No. Because it was welded on, and then he tried to basically just snapped off. I guess.
I'm just confused because if nothing's moving, then it can't. That's what it's.
Oh, I could break under tension.
Something
It
broke.
just broke under
Yeah,
tension.
So something moved. Something did move.
It
is
must
what
have
I'm getting
shifted,
at.
I guess.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, it broke. So whatever. I had to order all new studs. I had them overnighted to the kid's shop.
That wasn't cheap.
Yeah, no. The guy that I ordered them through, he's Frank. He's a friend of mine. He deals with motorsport hardware because he's a sponsor of his. So I got them through him. Instead of shipping them to the shop in Long Island, they got shipped to Frank's house in Brooklyn.
First world problems.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. And then on the way home from the shop, I had to stop by Jan the man's office, drop off my tickets, and pay my lawyer fees. So 5-point ticket in New York.
What do you mean lawyer fee?
Well, you got to pay the fucking lawyer to try to get your ticket dismissed, take it to court.
Oh, you didn't just suck it up and pay it. You fought
It's
it?
a 5-point ticket, man.
It's a 5-point ticket.
What's losing in New York? Losing your license 6?
No.
No,
PA
it's
is
12 or
11.
13.
Yeah, but
Oh, so
still,
PA is
it's still
you-
5 points.
You get suspended
Yeah,
for 6
5
points.
points is a lot, and I've had a clean driving record up until this point. But he ended up because now, and on top of that, I got pulled over in Suffolk County. That no longer plea bargain cell phone tickets or portable mobile device tickets.
Now or at that time?
He got me in under the old rules, and they dropped
okay.
it down from a 5-pointer to a 3-point failure to yield, I believe. But all in all,
Yeah.
$500 in lawyer fees, $490-something worth of tickets,
Plus the studs.
$90 for new studs, $170 for center caps, and then whatever my friend charged me for labor.
All for the scene points.
And they are fucking nice center caps.
All worth it.
Worth
Yeah.
it.
By the way, fun fact, what does BBS stand for?
It's actually 885.
Yeah, no, I don't know where you've been.
Yeah.
BBS is not BBS. It's actually 885.
Fucking
I get it. I get it. I get it. I can't even right now. Do you know what it stands for?
That
You're
wasn't a good one.
That wasn't a good one.
So it's 3 names. They're 3 German names for the people who started the company.
Bob, Billy, and Sam.
No, Baumgartner, Brand, and Schiltek.
I like mine better.
Yeah. Big Bad Snakes.
You're up, bro.
Let's go with that one. I'm gonna preface all my stories with this. I've been very fortunate in my life from not having too many stupid moments in car ownership. As far as wrecks and whatnot, I've been very fortunate as far as never getting severely hurt. However, I have had a few mishaps. I mean, things like I've crossed terminals on batteries. You know,
Same.
I think that was probably the very first
Done
thing that
that.
ever happened. I was loosening a battery terminal on my Ford F-150, and it gave way, and I crossed the 2 terminals and got a nice little 12-volt shock. You know, and, whatever. But the one I'm going to start with is when I wrecked my parents' Toyota Camry. It was I remember the day well. It was a nice summer afternoon. Actually, it was. So they had a 91 Camry DX. So it was the V6 5-speed. It was actually a pretty nice car. It boogied.
Probably would still be running to this day if you didn't get your hands on it.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. It was a great car. Interior was actually pretty well put together it's a 90s Japanese car. It's simple. So I was allowed to drive it. It was summer of 2005. So Crystal and I were dating. We're in college. I was going to basic training for the second time, which we'll talk about that on the next episode. There's a reason why. So I was going to be going to basic training July of 2005. So this was like late June. And I was living back home with my parents in Troy. And I got a text from my ex-girlfriend saying...
My parents aren't home.
No, she was asking if I could she didn't have a car. She was asking if I could give her a ride to her now current, at that time she had just broke up with a boyfriend, and she wanted to know if I could give her a ride to give his stuff back. Now, again, we covered this in the first half. I'm a very generous person, so I'm like, sure. You know, I felt I was doing nothing wrong with it. I'm like, yes, absolutely. I'll give you a ride. No big deal. You know, I was already out and about, so I'm like, sure. I had a full tank of gas. I'm like, oh, it wasn't that far. I'll give you a ride. I mean, and we ended on good terms, so it wasn't like there was anything messy there. So it was, whatever. I was in college. I was a freshman. It was that whole.
Why are you fucking explaining this? I don't.
Well, because you're making faces. Anyway. So drove her. It was the next town over. I drove her over there. And on the way back, we got stuck behind traffic. As you do in that area. It was probably a tractor. I don't remember. But the long line of cars. And I said, I knew where we were. I'm like, there's a shortcut up here. There is a dirt road, which there's 90 million dirt roads up there. I'm like, I know. I've done this drive a million times. I'm like, I can take this dirt road. It'll shoot us out in front of this. I wouldn't even have to speed on this road, and it would still bring us out in front of the traffic. So turned down that road. Been down that road a lot. And very soon after getting on this road, there's a 90-degree turn, and it's a dirt road. And lots of people have had accidents on that corner just because it comes out of nowhere and it's a 90-degree turn. No one expects a 90-degree turn on a dirt road. So people are usually going too fast, and then there's an embankment right there, and they usually hit that. And there's a house right on that corner too. So I'm going down this road. I knew this corner was coming because I'd been down that road, and I was not speeding. I think the speed limit on that road was 30 or 35. I was doing 30 or 35. I knew that was coming up. I downshifted because I knew it was coming. I remember tapping the brake to slow down. The next thing I remember, I am upside down in this car in a ditch with my head in the windshield. She had got out of the car, apparently. I was unconscious at some point. So she had got out, went to that house that was on the corner, and she called help. This was before I had a cell phone, but I didn't use it. I had a track phone, and I had to buy minutes to put on it and whatnot. So, she didn't have a cell phone. This was before cell phones where everyone had one. So she ran and made the call. She claims that I was hanging upside down. I was motionless for a little bit, and then I just started screaming, like uncontrollably panicking. I don't remember this.
Kind of like Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, couldn't feel my legs. All I remember, the very first thing I remember was actually hanging there and seeing her and her telling me, it's okay, they're on their way, just calm down, we'll be here soon. And at that point, I felt calm from my recollection. To this day, I don't know how I skidded out of control and went into this ditch upside down. I have no idea. I don't even know how the car flipped. I have no idea, but it flipped. And so many people get in an accident on that corner that the people that live in that house don't even come out anymore. That's how bad it is.
Pretty bad.
But and up there, everyone, like all the rescue, EMS, and everyone's a half hour away. So they didn't know who. It was right on the borderline of the two townships. So they didn't know who was responding and whatnot. So they came. They ended up. How they got me out was fantastic. They kept telling me, "Okay, we're going to take you out through this window. So cover your eyes. We're going to smash the glass." Okay. I'm like, I can turn the car on and roll the window down for you if you want. And they're like, no, don't do that. I'm like, all right, fine. So they smashed the window. They're like, oh, well, we can't get you out through this one. There was the driver rear. They're like, we can't get you out through here. We're going to try the other two. Oh, no, because that was up against the ditch, so we couldn't get in through that one. So like, all right. So then they cut half the door off. Like, we can get you out if you do that. Well, then they couldn't get me out. So now they just smashed two windows and cut a door in half and couldn't get me out. They're like, okay, we're going to go through the back windshield. So they smashed the rear window. And then they were able to get me out that way. Got me to the hospital, cleaned up. I actually have a nice scar on my ring finger, which is great. But got me to the hospital. The state trooper. This is where the kicker of the story comes in. She was fine. She just had a bruise. Really, that was it. She was fine. I had a couple cuts on my head from the windshield, but nothing that I had to get stitched up for. State trooper comes into the hospital to ask me questions. My dad finally came. He was pissed. I mean, he was happy that I was okay, but he was pissed because I had a full tank of gas, and it was his car. So now he had a totaled car to deal with. Here was the kicker. The state trooper starts talking to me. He's like, all right, were you on your cell phone? I'm like, no, it was off. It was in the car. I said, it's probably still in the car. I'm like, it was off. I don't do that. He's like, all right, were you drinking? I'm like, I'm underage. No, I was not drinking and driving. No, it was in the middle of the day. I don't day drink. Not at that time. Now I do. And he goes, okay, were you smoking? He was trying to find something that I was distracted doing. He went through the whole list. And I'm like, no, I was not doing it. He's like, were you speeding? I'm like, no, actually, I remember slowing down because I knew that turn was coming. He's like, well, I got to charge you with something. I'm like, no, you don't. I remember my dad going, no, you don't actually have to. He goes, no, I got to do something. So
why?
My ticket, which I received, was for driving at a safe speed. And that is a real offense in the state of Pennsylvania.
Are you serious?
That's why every time I'm in Pennsylvania, I drive at a very unsafe speed.
I don't know what's worse. It was still like, I think your standard fine, like $150. Like I think that's like the minimum. It was no points. It was a minimum. But the kicker is that when you go to basic training in any branch, you can't have anything on your record. You can't have anything pending. Everything has to be settled up. You can be convicted of, misdemeanors, felonies. They have to waive or whatnot. If it's bad enough, they won't let you. But if it's a misdemeanor, it has to be squared up. So I couldn't even fight it. I had to just go pay it. I didn't have time because I was going. It was like 2 weeks. I had to go in 2 weeks, so I had to just go pay it and eat it. So I have been convicted of driving at a safe speed.
That's fucking fantastic.
You bastard.
I know. The monster. And then follow up to that, my dad, when I got back from, did I get back from basic or did I get back from deployment? My dad replaced the car
With another Camry?
with identical Camry. Identical. I think it was basic training. I came home and it was sitting back in the driveway. I'm like, what is that? Because the car was totaled. The only difference was this one had a car phone in the inside. An OE car phone.
That's how you
Yeah.
knew you were a baller back in the day.
Yeah. So that's my first mishap. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me think about which one I want to toss in here.
You want to look at my list?
No.
Get some
It's
ideas?
like a two. I think
How
it's
about you
like
tell
a
one
two.
of his mishaps?
It's like
That's enough to go
there's
around.
like
we got a
2 in
mutual one.
2 and 1.
You're
This
good
one
at 2 and 1.
Yeah, 2 and 1. It's because they're both pretty short. So the one was when I finally actually ended up picking up the turbo Volvo,
With the T5R?
the T5R,
The black one.
the black
Yes.
one, the second black one. I had pulled the engine and transmission out of the manual, the first one, to get the manual transmission off and whatnot to get the swap going. So I'm in my garage, or my parents' garage. It's, I want to say, November. It's about 7 or 8 degrees in the garage. Okay.
Celsius or
Fahrenheit. It was pretty fucking. It was pretty cold. So I'm sitting there and I'm splitting the transmission from the engine. So I split it off. I take it off, move the transmission. Now I need the manual flywheel, right? So I undo all the flywheel bolts, get everything resettled, and me being me, and not wearing gloves in freezing weather, try to slide a flywheel off of the motor with one hand.
Was it in the car?
No.
Everything was out of the car.
No, everything was out of the car.
Okay.
So I'm just sliding and shimmying it back with one hand, very lightly, as if it was a paperweight.
Oh,
And
yeah. Because
me being me, not knowing that a Volvo flywheel weighs about 40 fucking pounds.
Or about 17 bricks.
Yeah. Slide it off about an inch away from the ground, and the flywheel falls on my hand and just fucking bursts open my pinky, which I actually do have a scar still.
Better your hand than the ground and being damaged.
True, because that flywheel is like $500-600 factory, so that fucking sucks.
And it's
But
a
so
Volvo part, and it would have ruined the ground.
It would have ruined the garage. The whole
It would have went straight to China.
Right straight to China. Yep.
But so that was that part. But that same car, I think my biggest, I have the one big mishap, but that whatever. I think the other one that was,
Is that when you called me at 3 in the morning?
yeah, that was one of them.
With the door?
With the yeah.
God.
But that's not the one I'm going to mention. I don't know if I actually told you guys about this one. So I was at the college campus, and I don't know how, but I came outside after class, and I had a flat essentially. So.
Essentially had a flat, or you had a
No,
flat?
I had a flat.
Okay. There's no essentially.
There's no essentially. I had a flat. And I cranked the e-brake up. I get the car ready. I was driver's side front, right? So get my little Widowmaker from the trunk of the car, put it underneath, and actually,
I think we all know where this is going.
actually my roommate Pavel was with me at that time. So
What car is it? Still in the black?
this is still the black one.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I start cranking it up. I get the fucking car up and everything, and it's chilling. So I take the wheel off. I grab the spare, and at this point, I almost always, because my wheels weren't in the gross condition, I would always put the wheel that's bad underneath the subframe. This time I didn't. So
That's a good pro tip.
yeah. So if you have a wheel that you don't care about, put it underneath the
You know,
subframe. So if it falls, it lands on that.
Even if
instead
you
of-
do care about it, if you,
it's a lot safer. It's
I
a
care
lot less
more
money.
About, I care more about my body than a wheel.
Yeah.
Clearly.
So
Clearly.
yeah.
Look at this.
So
Hashtag dad bod.
That's on lock.
So I'm trying to mount this spare on. Next thing I know, I guess the e-brake was not in the best of conditions, I guess you could call it, because the car started to slowly, out of nowhere, roll backwards. And it slipped off of the jack. And all I did was basically close my eyes and try to push the wheel into the hub and magically see what happens. The edge of the hub caught the edge of the wheel, and I caught the car at that angle, standing there, with me holding it. So Pavel's looking at me like, what the fuck what do I do? I'm like, get a fucking jack, get a jack. I'm yelling in the middle of our college parking lot, trying to hold the wheel steady so the car doesn't fall. And somebody pulled up. I was there for a good 2 minutes. Somebody pulled out a jack, and Pavel re-yanked the e-brake and jacked the car up. and finally got it back on. Yeah.
You lucky son of a bitch. And that is why they're called the Widowmaker.
Yeah, exactly. Because if I was underneath that car, I would have been dead.
You know, I'm guilty of early on in my car ownership.
This
I've
pretty
used
early on
just
for me, too.
Widowmaker for stuff.
Not a good thing to do.
Never again. I see people do it. Please, if you use a Widowmaker, don't. Just go to Harbor Freight. You can get a decent jack for
$50, $60.
$50, $60. It's worth your safety.
Yeah,
and you
absolutely.
can get one that's small enough to keep in the car if
Exactly.
you're on a road trip.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. And while you're there, pick up jack stands. It's never good to work on just a jack.
It's $20 for a set. I mean, it's not much.
It's usually a set of 4.
Yeah.
You know, can't go wrong with that. So.
But yeah, go down.
Should I tell Baltimore now then?
I think you should tell Baltimore.
All right, Baltimore. Baltimore.
I have a bad experience with Baltimore. I'll tell you that after the show. I hate Baltimore. I hate Baltimore a lot.
Me too.
I've only been there twice in my life.
You're gonna enjoy this story.
All right.
This is a 2-part as well.
This is a 2-parter. So I was going to tell a mishap story about how when my friend decided we were going to take a road trip, that was Adrian. He purchased the E46 BMW when he was like 18 years old, and he bought fresh summer tires for it.
It's a good idea.
In the middle of winter.
In the middle of winter, and we drove to Ohio.
Clearly.
Yeah, got stuck on Route 80. Long story short, Dom to the rescue, took his slippers off, put his shoes on, got out of the car, and was pushing the car up a hill on Route 80. Realized car couldn't stop because it'd get stuck again, so I'm running after the fucking car down Route 80 in the middle of the night in a blizzard. I don't know how I got the door open, swung the door open, and Supermaned into the car. But now the story starts with this same BMW because I had to push it again. Because we were going to Baltimore. It was Andrew. You've met Andrew with the Fiat.
Baton.
Did I? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, at New Year's. Yeah. Andrew and his, at the time, girlfriend, current wife, are in his Audi TT. I am with Adrian in his BMW, and I think one of our friends was in the back seat. So we're driving to Baltimore, and we're almost there. There's a tunnel in Maryland right when it was like an exit or two before we were supposed to get off. So, Andrew pulls up next to the BMW, blips his throttle because he had an exhaust on the car. Adrian being the illest BMW fanboy back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, a bulletproof 7 Series that weighs 10,000 pounds is the greatest driving machine in the world only because it's got a BMW badge on it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Yeah.
Everyone knows
That's
that.
the type of person he was back then. He decides, he downshifts into second.
How fast are you going at this point?
He slowed down on the highway.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. He does a second gear pull, shifts into third. Top of third, goes to shift into fourth. Bangs it into second, dumps the clutch. Oh. Tires chirp. Car is done. We're stuck in the fucking tunnel.
I'm cringing just thinking about it. Like,
Bent 12 valves in the head. Yeah.
And there's only 8. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Bent 12 valves in the head.
Damn.
So now Andrew pulled over.
And that's a pretty solid motor for the most part. Like, that's hard to do with that motor. Well, I guess missing a shift.
I believe they were chain driven.
The 3 liter.
The 330, I think, was chain driven.
I think so.
Anyway, so Andrew pulled over outside of the tunnel on the shoulder, and he's running on the highway towards us. You watch Seinfeld?
Yeah.
You know how George Costanza runs?
Yeah.
It's like, that's exactly how Andrew runs. It's the funniest thing in the world. I will never forget that vision. That vision is burned into my mind of him running into the tunnel looking like a skinny George Costanza.
That's
so
funny.
we start pushing the car out of the. Because Adrian, in situations like this, he used to panic. Like, he was shitting bricks when we got stuck on Route 80 in the snow, and he was shitting bricks now. Understandably so. Like, you're 18 years old. You just bought this car. You spent a lot of money on
You
it.
bend 12 valves, you're going to panic.
Well, he didn't know that.
He didn't know that at the time,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
We just knew the car wouldn't run. So we're pushing the car out of the tunnel, whatever. So now it's 5 of us on the side of the highway with 2 cars. The TT only fits 2 people in it. So
Here comes the second part.
here starts part 2. So Andrew, being the good guy he is, decides to leave his wife on the side of the highway with everybody else.
Absolutely.
And us being upstanding gentlemen, we just left the women with Adrian, got in the Audi TT, and went to go look for our hotel room to see if we can get somebody with a truck and a rope.
That's what you do.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's being a man 101.
So the visibility out of a Mark 1 Audi TT is damn near non-existent.
Yeah.
His car was lowered on top of that. And now we know we have to get off at the next exit. We drive to the next exit, and it leads right into the center of Baltimore, where there's a fucking baseball stadium.
Yeah, I'm having flashbacks.
And there's a
thinking about
fucking baseball game that night.
Oh,
Traffic, standstill on that exit ramp. So we're like, what would we do in New York? We'd go to the next exit and backtrack.
yeah.
You ever seen the movie 8 Mile?
Just watch.
Now imagine 2 white boys in a shiny, loud Audi TT. We drove over train tracks. There's shanties all around us. And a group of what looked like very upstanding gentlemen huddled in a circle doing something definitely not illegal.
A civil business transaction was about to be...
Yeah. At that point, Andrew didn't even say a word, just reached over, and I just hear the locks click on the door. So like, we need to get the fuck out of here. So we turn around, and we drive back over the train tracks. And I don't know what it was, but I remember Baltimore having a lot of one-way streets.
Yeah. You know what? I will agree with that, especially in that area, because I know where you're talking, because that's where my bad experience with Baltimore was, in that same area.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of one-ways down there.
So now, this was back in 2008 or 9, so, like, we don't have the cell phone service we have now.
Right.
You know, I had a fucking iPhone 3G, and that 3G barely fucking worked. And I couldn't get Google Maps to work, so we can't find the fucking hotel. And I can't see out of this goddamn fucking car because the pillar is eye level.
Yeah.
So we're driving around, and we're on one of, like, the only two-way streets in Baltimore by a U-Haul. I will never forget the U-Haul.
A building or an actual truck?
No, there was the building. There was the U-Haul
business,
sign
okay.
on the side of the road. So there's traffic going the opposite direction, like a line of cars at the red light. We're stopped at the red light.
That's usually how two-way streets work.
Yeah,
right?
but there was nobody behind us, but there was a line of cars going the opposite way.
Right.
So whatever, light turns green, we start to go. I'm looking down at my phone trying to get it to work, and I just hear a thud. I look up, and I see something flying off of the car. I just see hair. So I look at Andrew, I'm like, did we hit a fucking dog? He's like, no, dick, we hit a person.
Go on.
So I'm like, what the fuck just happened? So we pull over, we get out of the car. Actually, no, we didn't pull over. We just got out of the car to see if this dude was even still alive.
Because sometimes, I'll be honest, it's not worth it.
No, you just keep going. So I don't know if he was like a club promoter or something, but he was picking up flyers that he dropped. He was already up on his knees picking up flyers off the middle of the street that I'm guessing he was handing out to people.
That should be your first red flag.
So this dude's picking up flyers. Some lady gets out of her car and yells, I'm calling the police. I'm calling the police. This dude jumps up, whips around. He's like, do not call the cops. Do not call the cops. So already, me and Andrew are looking at each other like, what the fuck is happening? Like, what? Mind you, our friends are still stuck on the highway.
Right.
And we're dealing with this now. So the dude's like, don't call the cops, don't call the cops. So I look at Andrew, I'm like, yo, like, this is fucking bad. The dude looks at me, he's like, nah, man, could have been worse. It could have been worse. I'm like, what? So whatever, like, we're bullshitting. We're like, you know, you all right? You want us to call the cops, call an ambulance? He's like, nah, I'm good. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So I don't know. I hope we're past the statute of limitations.
Didn't he ask you like?
Oh, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. This dude had dreadlocks.
As most upstanding citizens do.
Yeah.
Fun fact, John F. Kennedy did have dreadlocks when he took the oath of office. He had to cut it back. A lot of people didn't like it. Yeah. That's something you don't read about in the history books, folks.
So he looks at us. He's like, yo, like, because he bodied the car. He literally came out from between two cars that were on the opposite side of the street.
Was it a square hit, or did he like hit in the fender or the corner?
He, I guess, ran out from between two cars to try to make it across the street. I guess he saw us last minute and he jumped and bodied the windshield.
Oh, Jesus.
So shoulder imprint on windshield, head imprint on roof.
Oh my God.
And till the day he sold the car, Andrew was picking out glass shards from that car.
Oh yeah.
Now, mind you, now at this point, we're 3 hours away from home with two broken fucking cars.
Yep. Well, at least one drives.
One drove.
Yeah.
And we're getting there,
Yeah.
trust me, because there's still a bit to the story. So he's like, am I bleeding it from anywhere? And like he moves his dreadlocks. And me and Andrew just see blood on his head. I swear to God, it was like out of a movie. We both look at each other, and we'd look at him, and at the same time, we're like, nah, you good. You good. And he's like, all right, guys, have a good night. And just walked away. Walked down the fucking street.
That man later died of internal bleeding and external.
But wait, there's more.
3 hours later.
So now me and Andrew still have to find the hotel.
Jesus.
Google Maps isn't fucking working. So we're driving around Baltimore, and we see this guy, the guy we just hit, and he's on a cell phone. So we're like, fuck, he's calling the cops in on us. He's calling a hit and run. We're gonna get arrested. Like
clearly, he was checking on the stock market.
Yeah. So we're panicking now because like if he calls in a hit and run and a cop sees our car, and the way it is, like we're gonna get arrested, and we still have to find the fucking hotel.
Yeah.
And these
Go back
people are
and
still
pick up-
stuck on the fucking highway. So at that point, we kind of just forgot about them. Our other friend went to the rescue with them. They AAA'd the car back to the hotel later that night. So they got off the highway eventually. So now me and Andrew are still driving around Baltimore on these one-way fucking streets. And we pull out onto one street, and we see a cop pull out behind us. And this is after seeing the guy on the cell phone, and we're panicking already. We're like, fuck, we're getting arrested. We're fucked. We're done. So the cop follows us for like a good, 5 or 6 blocks, but ends up turning off. Finally, we find the fucking hotel. It's a building we passed 4 times before we hit the guy. And it has an underground valet parking lot.
Did you use it?
Damn right. Well, no, we didn't let the valet park the car.
Of course not.
No. So we pull up to the entrance of the parking garage, and there's 2 or 3 valets standing there, and they're just looking at us. And we're like, we need to park this thing. They're like, go ahead. Just go. We go to like the lowest floor, like 3 levels underground, park the car in a corner, nose in, so that nobody sees it. And now Andrew's brother is a cop in New York. So we call him, we're like, what should we do? They're like, call the cops, get a report in from your side just in case he
cover your ass. Yeah.
He's like, cover your ass. So we call the cops. And we were waiting for like 2 hours. Yeah, a good 2 hours for the cop to come to the hotel. Nice guy, really nice guy. And, he's like, take me down, let me see the car. So we're going down, we get in the elevator, elevator's going down and going down, going down. He's like, damn, you guys really hid this thing, huh? We're like, so we're walking towards it. Andrew's car was nice. I think he might have had the turbo twist on it back then. Yeah. So the cop's like, oh, is that a Porsche? And we're like, no, it's an Audi. Like with the face of disappointment. So whatever. So he looks at the car. He's like, all right, so, in your words, describe to me what happened. So Andrew starts describing. He's like, the guy came out from between 2 cars that were going the opposite direction, and he jumped on our car. Like, you see the cop writing the report down, and as Andrew said that he jumped on the car, he stopped. And he looked at us. And he's like, are you sure he jumped on your car? We're like, yeah, he jumped. He kept writing. He wrote in the report that the guy was on drugs or something. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, nobody sober just jumps on a car. Or stands on trunks for no reason.
Yeah, I hate those people.
God, those people suck.
Undeserving bastards. So, whatever. At this point, we're just bullshitting with the cop. The report's done. It's in. He said the other guy didn't call anything in. So he must have just been, letting somebody know that he got hit by a car. And I guess he's on his way home for dinner now.
A nice, upstanding family dinner,
Not in one of those shanties we passed.
No, the guy has a gated house. You know that.
So anyway, we're bullshitting with this cop. And the cop, out of nowhere, he's like, yeah, I got this hot date tonight. I'm like, oh, no doubt, enjoy. You guys remember, like, the LG chocolate phone? Like, it was the sliding phone?
Yep.
I'll never forget this. He's got his phone out, slides it up, shows me a picture of a naked girl. He's like, you like them titties, don't you? I was like, them some fine titties.
Like, there's a right answer here.
I just don't know what it is.
What's the one that doesn't end up with me in the back of your car? Not going to see them titties.
Yeah, that was the kicker of the night.
Jesus.
But yeah, and on top of that, now Andrew had to stay an extra night to get a new windshield for his car.
He didn't just get it fixed back home?
How was he going to get the car back home?
Did it shatter or?
I will show you a picture after the podcast because I still have a picture saved in my email from 2008.
Because
No, it was shattered. You had the indentation of this man's shoulder.
But did it go actually all the way through? He could have driven it home, though. I mean,
no, because as soon as the wind would have hit, there was glass shards everywhere.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, me, Adrian, and whoever else was in our car had to find a way home from Baltimore because Adrian's uncle came with a truck and trailer to pick up the BMW that now had 12 bent valves and wouldn't run.
I'd love to tell my Baltimore story, but it's really not even a mishap. It's just a story about me being really angry and aggressive with somebody. But I'll tell you guys after the show. Mm-hmm. So for the last story, for the three of us at least, I was torn between one of two to tell. So I was going to either tell the story of when both the cars got stolen or when I wrecked the GLI. So I think I'm going to go with wreck the GLI because it's seasonal, and it goes with our narrative of last week's episode of driving conditions. And so I'm going to talk about my GLI. So the GLI was my first newish car I've ever bought. Mm-hmm. I bought it in 2009 with 3,000 miles on it. It was a demo. So I was very fortunate, got a good deal on it, liked it. It was an 08 GLI 2-liter turbo, 6-speed manual. Had the cloth interior, non-heated cloth, which apparently the non-heated cloth was a rare thing, but it didn't add value at all. Great car, platinum gray metallic. I had it for 09, 10, 11, 12. This happened in 13. I had just started working at Young Volkswagen in sales. And so I was commuting we lived in Hellertown at the time. So Hellertown to Easton. And my kids, so Carrie was a year and change, almost 2. We got this, they went to daycare in the opposite direction of my way to work. It wasn't very far. I just had to go, it was a couple back roads, and then I was there. And I had finally bought a brand new set of wheels, which this was the first set of wheels I ever bought brand new, and I was actually really, really happy with them. They were Clutch Republic SL14s.
Well, that answered my question.
They were. I know they're reps of reps, but no, they're not reps of reps. They're just reps. Yeah. They were reps of I forget
some kind of mesh wheel.
Oh, I want to tell.
No, it wasn't the mesh wheel.
After you guys are done, I want to tell one more
LMs?
story.
Wasn't it LM
No.
reps or something? I don't know.
my near mishap story.
They're I forget the name of the brand that they were reps of. Anyway, no, they weren't. They were the spokey ones. They weren't mesh. Regardless. So I had bought them, and actually, like a lot of people, they buy wheels to get tires, put them right on. I'm horrible at keeping secrets, so this was the first time I bought a set of wheels. I told nobody about them, and they sat downstairs for 6 months. And I didn't tell anybody about them. So for me, that's an incredible achievement.
6 months, I would have forgotten about them.
Oh, I didn't. I was looking at them every day. But so I had finally put them on. This was in March, end of February. We had that warm up like we always get. I put them on. I had Nitto Neo Gens on them, which they aren't an all season. They didn't handle well in the rain. That was my only beef with them. So, but we got this random snow. Like really random. I never checked the forecast. That's how random it was, and it wasn't even a lot. It was a dusting to an inch at most, but the temperatures dropped. So I woke up in the morning to see snow outside, and I still had to take the kids to daycare. So I'm like, well, I don't have time. I don't have time to swap the wheels over to winter wheels. I don't have time for this. I have to just take them. I'm like,
that's how I felt when I had to come here yesterday.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't have time for this. I will be careful, and I'll just go. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah.
I've learned to never say those magic words.
I don't think I say it anymore. But so I loaded up the kids, and we went, and there was, in my defense, the township did not maintain any roads. Like nothing from my apartment to the daycare had been maintained, period. Nothing had been maintained, so I was driving on fresh snow. And underneath it had frozen, so it was ice and snow. So I'm driving, and I go down this road, and I knew there was a sharp turn. Again, me and sharp turns. I knew there was a sharp turn coming, and I went to downshift, because what's something you don't do in slippery weather? Brake. You downshift. You
want to be smooth with your inputs.
Well, yeah, you still want to be smooth, but braking, you have a more chance of skidding than you do with downshifting. So I wanted to engine brake, so I did. And then when I did finally start to tap the brake a little bit to slowly ease into it, I'm going straight. So I'm supposed to be turning, and I'm going straight. It's a right-hand turn. If it had been left, I would have been golden because I had the spirit of Dale on my side. But it was a right-hand turn, and I'm looking right at this massive tree, and I'm like, son of a bitch. And I mean, this all happened in seconds.
Were you looking at it?
Oh, I was just looking at it.
Just looking at it.
Yeah. So I was looking right at it, and I'm just watching it get closer, straight toward me, and I'm like,
Well,
and I got the kids in the back, which is the worst part. If it had been just me, okay, whatever.
there's your problem.
What?
Target fixation.
Well, yeah. I don't think it would have helped me otherwise.
It might have done something differently to.
Well, I'll explain what happened. So I'm looking at the
But
tree.
I guess since you got the kids in the back, you kind of don't want to have any other impact than one that's closest to you instead of them.
Well, again, seconds here.
No,
So
of course.
So I'm going, and at the very last second, it's like I'm maybe a foot or two away from the actual ditch going to that tree. The wheels catch, and it throws me to the right. So I missed the tree. However, it then drug me through the ditch over this stump that someone had left in the ditch. It was about this. It was probably about 2 feet around, 2.5 feet around. So the whole car went over that. And then when I finally it nose dove into a little bit, and then it spun the rear back out. So I was kind of like perpendicular into the ditch, and Chloe laughed. I remember that. Chloe laughed, and the first thing I did was, "Are the kids okay?" So Chloe laughed, and Carrie was crying. She was also much younger, so I made sure they were fine.
When did this happen? How many years ago?
2013. This was
so it
March 8th, 2013.
It was
4 years.
relatively recent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, almost exactly 4 years. Got out. I knew I wasn't driving out of that ditch. Just because the way the car was angled, and I was on air at that point. But I even today I don't drive slammed when air. I don't see the point of it. So but I was so far into the ditch, I knew I wasn't getting out. So called the police. My rear wheel was like this, so I looked like I had rear steering, but did not. So the controller ended up being bent. Long story short, the tow truck came, got me out, put it on. The police gave me and my kids a ride to daycare and then back home. And then I actually didn't have to go to work that day, but I had it towed to the dealership where I was working, and they ended up totaling it. It was like $11,000 in damages.
A lot of stuff underneath, I'm assuming.
Two wheels, compressor, condenser, radiator, bumper, the grill, which at that point was the R32 front, and an R32 grill for a Mark V.
So it wasn't the.
It wasn't the Thunder Bunny. That was already gone. Yeah. Anyone who's bought a Mark V R32 grill knows that a brand new one, OEM MSRP is like $850, $900. So
Cats for nose.
So of course, and when an insurance is doing pricing,
They do OEM.
They usually do aftermarket. But like I was telling them, insurance companies, unless you have it specified in your policy, always go aftermarket first. It's cheaper.
Yeah,
Why wouldn't they?
True.
So, but I told them like the aftermarket grills will not fit right, and they don't. You know this. So I said it has to be an OEM one. That's an OEM grill. You can't get an aftermarket one that's aluminum. So that raised the price. So a lot of things. There was a lot that had to be done. Fenders, the rear quarter panel, the rear, all the rear suspension and stuff like that. So yeah, it was about $11,000. They insurance cut me a check for $16,000, and then obviously most of that went to the insurance as my loan to pay off the loan, which I only had like a year and a half or something left. I didn't have much left on that car, so I was devastated. I had a lot of time and work into that car.
It's a shame for those clutch republics.
Actually, the part of me that killed me the most is that I had just put them on.
No, I know.
And
then it sucks no matter what.
It doesn't matter what wheels they
no,
were.
it sucks.
It was a good looking
Especially a car you put a lot of your time and
well, and the thing with that car that really got me is, so I got that car shortly after, about 6 months after getting home from Afghanistan. So I was going through my own shit, and that car was my outlet. That car was my therapy, essentially, for I had an outlet to do something automotive related. That and my Beetle, but I put more into the GLI. I mean, look, I brought Chloe home from the hospital in that car. I think I
It's
brought
got a lot of sentimental
I
value.
think I brought Carrie home from the hospital in that car. It was either that or the R32. I brought Carrie home from the hospital, and one of those two. So there was a lot of sentimental value in that car, and it was probably the only time I've ever cried over anything automotive. When I saw that get onto the rollback and take it away, it was absolutely devastating. But yeah, so that kind of goes with last week's talk about driving in the snow. Don't drive in cold weather with summer tires.
I got a near mishap in the snow story. Well, I have 3 stories, 2 mishaps and 1 near mishap.
Well, that's gonna have to be for another time because we have to move on.
I'll just go fuck myself.
Well, I mean, we're already running long here, and so let me pull up the. We'll go to your mishaps. We asked you guys for mishaps. Actually, I'm gonna go to Instagram Live while.
Look at this. Look at Volkswagen's Instagram. Look what it says at the bottom. Read the bottom.
Get a special offer on track. If you All right, so Casper just showed us Volkswagen's Instagram, official Instagram. They put up a picture of the All-Track, which is their new wagon, similar to like the All-Road, but for Volkswagen. And it says contact for what was it, pricing?
You will receive a special offer if you own a Subaru.
If you own a Subaru. Which is funny because
shots fired.
The All-Track and the Outback, they're the same. It's the same market. That's the competition now. My parents were between an All-Track and an Outback when they were shopping.
And they went with the All-Track?
They went with the All-Track.
How do they like it?
They love it. They absolutely love it. I drove it. I love it.
I've only seen one on the streets in Queens. It's a nice looking car.
I've been seeing a couple around here. I saw one in.
And they come manual.
They do.
They do.
Manual and DSG. And it's a Golf R platform, so the DSGs do have launch control.
Honestly, from the factory?
Yes.
Wow.
I launched my parents, which they don't know about till right now.
Do they listen?
My mom does, yes.
Ooh.
Yes. That's okay. Hey, I didn't do anything wrong. I just broke it in.
Factory option.
It's a factory option,
Yeah, I remember when Alex had an A3 loaner with I forget if it was a 2-liter turbo. I think it was a 2-liter turbo.
All the A3s have the 2-liter. It's either a gas or a TDI.
It didn't have the paddle shifters, but it was DSG.
Yeah.
It had launch control. I fucking think it was so fun.
So yeah, we asked you guys guys and gals, to write in. We asked you to let us know what your mishaps are. So I'm going to go through some of these here. We got Gavin from New York. He said, I met Gavin through the Passat forums. He said his foot slipped off his clutch pedal. He hit a Jeep in his Passat. Hit a tire DB'd on his friend's 03 G35 sedan. 6-speed LSD car. He went off the road into a telephone. Ooh. I think he means a telephone pole, not an actual phone.
No, he meant like a payphone.
It must have
been a payphone.
Could have been a payphone.
No, it was the what was it, the Samsung?
The Nokia. There was a Nokia standing, just laying on the fucking.
It's this 2-inch phone. It totaled the infinity.
It's the Chuck Norris of cell phones.
Exactly. It's the Volvo and Chuck Norris of cell phones. If Chuck Norris was texting on a Nokia in a Volvo, the world would end. That's how you end World War III at that point. Bring in Chuck Norris. Let's see here. We have Chef Oyard, which is Derek Oyer. His comment is bought a B5 S4. That's his mishap.
See, I was going to start off with buying the old Audi was my mishap.
Well, he's the one that bought Jeremy's blue S4.
Oh, that was the one that you guys were telling me about, right?
Yes. I think it's a monster. But he had a Cobra, an 04 Cobra before that. So he's
the anniversary edition.
Yes. So he's very well aware of power, and thankfully that car went to someone who will do it right instead of doing it twice. So he'll good hands there. Dan Heimbach wrote that I may want to discuss putting spare keys in my glove box, which was the other story when the cars got stolen, but I'll save that for another time. We have Zenki718.
Mark.
He writes, had a B5A4 with a KO4 turbo and Gaiac hammer file. Front mount, this car was the trophy of absolute shit running car.
Yeah, that whole purchase and experience was a mishap for him. I remember that car very well.
He says boost spike was 30 plus PSI. Trying to hold boost would blow the pipes of the couplers. He said if it did hold boost, it blew the map sensor from the from the amount of oil that would get sprayed into the pipes. Man, I miss that comfy piece of German shit, though. And then we have somebody else here. Well, I'm not sure who it is. It's D. Kavkak. I think he must know the guys at the dealership because he tags Alex and Chad. And he said, should I tell the Volvo or Subaru story? You can ask Alex or Chad about either one. So he did not want to tell us his story. He asked me to ask somebody else about his story. So
I just noticed something. We did automotive mishaps, and not once was the Platinum spoke about.
The Platinum has been spoken about
enough.
Yeah,
there's been 9
Fuck
episodes.
That car. There's been 9 episodes of my misery with the Platinum. Get that shit away from me.
And then we have Just Toyotas. They wrote in, I was hauling down a dirt road and had a rabbit run out in front of me. I'm assuming the animal, not a car.
Because the first thing I envisioned was a Mark 1 running across the road.
I ended up spinning out of control, overcorrected, and went into an embankment and ran over a small tree right in front of some guy's house. The rabbit was fine. I'm glad that was mentioned. No animals were harmed in the making of this episode. So that's what we have here on Instagram, and we're gonna make this into a transition. We're gonna wrap this up. So we're gonna go into what did you do? Well, I gotta do the voice. I gotta do the what did you do this week?
So for me, it was pretty simple. I actually didn't do anything. I just have an update on the motor, which I called the company that owes me the engine. They supplied an engine. I gave them the shipping address that I want the engine shipped to, and they shipped it to the wrong address. So kudos to them. Still not going to put them on blast because they're actually moving a lot quicker than I thought they would.
I'm surprised they actually sent
that's a clerical error.
It is, and I appreciate them for doing that. But, we'll see how things go, and we'll see how much shit they give for the labor that they're supposed to pay in order to swap the motor. And then we might put them on blast. And, whatever.
What'd you do, Dal? What'd you do automotive-wise this week?
This week I didn't do anything.
Shovel the car out of the driveway.
The car up
I think a lot of people would say that's what they did,
fucked up in Queens.
How much did you guys get up there?
It wasn't much. It was maybe 8 inches in spots, but it was just the fact that we had such a so cold over the next few days, everything froze over. And now you got these fucking jerk-offs. Parking's tight in Queens, especially when it snows.
Wait, parking is rough in Queens?
Yeah.
Really?
Who would have thought, right?
Wow. Who'd have thunk?
But now you got these people that are trying to make themselves parking spaces, but they're moving 3-foot boulders of ice into the middle of the street thinking people are just going to run them over. Yeah. Like, the Titanic didn't get past the fucking iceberg. What makes you think my minivan will?
Well, and it's not just there. It's here. Except here, you have people plowing their driveways across streets, and then all that shit just gets left on the street because they go, well, it's not my driveway. It's the street.
At least you guys have property to, you can make a pile of snow.
No, I don't do that. Other people do. They'll plow out of their driveway across the street, and whatever's left in the street is not their problem. It's the township.
Well, yeah, that's messed up. But you guys have enough property where you can shovel your driveway into your backyard.
I stack nice piles in mine.
In Queens, the space there is none.
No, I know
there is none.
Well, I know over at the Promenade Shops, my buddy Ryan, who's going to be on the show next week, he works for a landscaping company in the summertime, and in the wintertime they do snow removal. And they
actually big money in snow removal.
Oh, absolutely. So they have the contract for the Promenade Shops, and when I dropped him off coffee the one night, and after the first night he was there for 15 hours, and some of the piles were at least 2 stories high, or like a story and a half. So they actually have to scoop that all up, load it in the truck the snow out. Yeah, I imagine that happens in the city too.
They just started maybe yesterday. I just noticed that they were doing snow removal. That they were actually driving around and taking it off of the big piles that people made and stuff, and putting them into dump trucks and taking them to the melters.
If I remember right, I don't know if the city has it. I think when I originally heard about this was Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, that area up there, so northern, upstate New York, where they have trucks that they load it in and it just melts it, and then they dump it right into the sewage.
I was actually reading up on this. It was posted on one of the neighborhood Facebook pages. That talks about shit going on in the neighborhood. New York doesn't dump into the sewers or into the rivers anymore because of contaminants and shit.
Well, I know the river. There's a huge cleanup project which actually is going to have its funding cut shortly for the Chesapeake. So I knew that.
Yeah, no. Now they do snow removal. They load them up into dump trucks and they take it somewhere and let it melt.
But I want to say it was upstate.
They actually have melters.
Yeah, so I want to say it was upstate. They drain it some way. Yeah. But it was just dump trucks with melters, and they turns it into water.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do anything automotive to my own stuff. My own cars. It's been an uneventful week. Again, I plowed. I know I posted a picture of having the old the old Alice Chalmers out. Had that out with the snowplow. And
How did the Opticode hold up on it?
Opticode Pro's holding up good on it, man. Opticode tractor. I waxed the plow because I didn't want the snow to stick to it. It worked.
You should coat it.
It worked very well.
If you love it, coat it.
Nah, that plow is in rough shape. Well, I would say rough shape. It's not good. It's not enough for me to do that on that. I'm not wasting it on that. The tractor, okay, but not the plow. No, the only thing automotive, I know, like when Kevin's on, he said he talks about what he does at his shop. So I've now worked on 3 cars this week, and they've all been Subarus for my business. I did coilovers on Miranda's 07 Impreza, which I want to make a statement here and say Raceland has kind of upped their quality over the years.
I've heard that too from other people recently.
These weren't the Ultimos. They were just the regular Racelands.
But I heard the Ultimos were actually
I heard they were
half
decent.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I went to install these. It has camber plate on the top, threaded bodies. I was very impressed with the quality.
We'll see how long they last.
They have lifetime warranty. What can you say about that? They break, you just get another set.
Yeah, but then comes into play of having to actually physically replace them.
Well, you know what, though? And I'm going to say this. Now I know, after doing that car, I never touched the Subaru suspension before. I now know why every Subaru is lowered.
It's so easy to do.
You need like 5 tools.
And basically every generation's suspension is interchangeable. Like
Pretty
you could
much.
throw like maybe not the 2015s, but like say a 2013 STI setup. Everything from the suspension, engine, transmission, everything will bolt into a 98 2.5 RS.
Yeah. So
suspension,
I think
the whole nine.
I think
subframes.
The whole thing with adjustments took me like 2.5 hours, and I was taking my time. But thankfully nothing was seized or anything. But she had the car that it came on blown. They weren't blown when she got it, but they were old, no name. They weren't even Tine or Teen, however you pronounce it. They were just no name.
Teen's not bad.
No, I know, but these they looked like they could be, but there was no markings on them. So, but they eventually blew to the point where even just having the strut sitting on my floor after it was out, it was just leaking.
Eek.
Just sitting there, it was leaking. That's crazy. But so I did that. I did the other Subaru was a 2017 Outback in red, really nice car. I did Optico Pro Plus on that and OptiGlass Pro, and I will say after being inside of it and like cleaning and whatnot, there's a couple of fit and finish things that that would just annoy me, like just the way the plastic sits and whatnot like that. Whatever. That's probably one of every 1,000
But they upped their
cars,
quality recently.
I could see how the Outback would be a very appealing car.
Because even Tommy's 2015 STI, when he first got it, I sat in it. I'm like, this is not bad for a Subaru.
Now, I didn't drive it, and it always comes down to comfort for me. I bet you if I drove that for 15 minutes, my back would be killing me. I bet you. It's just my luck.
Yeah, the one thing I don't like about is the seats in the Subarus.
Yeah, a lot of Japanese, like Mazda for me, I could never get comfy in a Mazda, so I bet you it would be the same thing. And I have an 13 WRX that I'm working on right now, so that's just a polish and wax on that one. So he just picked it up. Previous customer of mine, he actually had the Genesis Coupe 2-liter that was here.
Oh, that was the white
summer.
one you did?
Yeah,
nice
he traded
car.
that in for the WRX. So that's all I did this week automotive wise. So yeah, that's what we did this week. We're gonna wrap it up. Yeah. So the next episode next week is going to be our military episode, which will be cool. We're gonna have good friend Ryan Mindler on. Ryan's an Army vet, did a tour in Afghanistan. I'm also an Army vet who did a tour in Afghanistan, so that'll be a good one. And it's not going to just be a bunch of military stuff. We're actually going to talk about vehicles specifically. There's a lot of cool vehicles in the Army and the Marines and everywhere, the military in general. There's a lot of platforms that are shared. So there's a lot of cool stuff that we're not going to share any military secrets or whatnot, but there's some cool stuff that I think a lot of people will be interested in. So be sure to tune in for that next Monday at 8 a.m. If you guys have any questions, comments, feedback, please send us in our email, gearshiftpodcast@gmail.com. You can hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, also thebeardedetailer.com/gearshift. You can submit anything there. And share and review. Share. Please share. This is actually, I'll say this to the day I die, whether it's about my business or whether it's about this podcast, just share it. Don't keep it to yourself. Let other people decide if they're going to like it or not. Share the shit out of it. Let other people decide, because the more people listen to the show, the more we can do. That's just what it's going to come down to. Factual. Because the more people, it's a numbers game. The more people listen, the more feedback we get, the better we can become. and then it gets shared to more people, and it just keeps going and going and going. Hell, my mom listens to the show, and I'm sure she doesn't like most of it. So just share it. You never know who's going to go, oh, well, sure, I'll give it a listen. So don't make that decision for them. Let them decide. And if you do like it, go on to iTunes. I don't know how the Android systems work, if you're allowed to do ratings, if you're allowed to do a review.
I'm not sure.
I know iTunes, you can do a review. So if you go on iTunes, you can leave a review. If you hate it, I want to know. I don't care. You can say it's the worst thing you've ever experienced in your life. I mean, hell, most of you are wasting an hour anyway listening to it, and congratulations for that. But if you do hate it, let us know why. I'm not going to be able to improve it if we don't know why you hate it. So, yeah, it's the queen. We'd like to thank Dom for coming back. Thank
you for having me.
It's always fun to have, not just you, but anyone. It's nice to have you guys return. It's nice to have people on the show.
Good times.
Yeah, we're going to have very good times. So we want to thank everyone for letting us get to episode 10. You know, this could have been shut down a long time ago, but you guys kept listening.
Well, I mean, let's face it, you're stubborn. You would have done 10 episodes if only your mother was listening.
No. If it was only my mother, no, I wouldn't. I call her enough during the week. I don't need to. But we were at 2,500 downloads as of as of this recording. So I wish that number was per episode, but
you're only 10 episodes in.
Baby steps.
Relax.
Baby steps. Yeah. But if you guys help share it, hey, those numbers might go up. You never know.
Let us know what you want to hear. What topics you
that too.
You know.
We I want to mention this. I do have a Skype account set up now, and I do have it set up where I can record interviews, phone calls. So if you want to be on the show but you live too far away, we can do a mobile episode. That's it.
Y'all have a good day now.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Until next week, I'm Christoph.
I'm Casper.
I'm Dom.
And this has been Gear Shift. Have a good one, guys.
Gear Shift Podcast is a production of Gear Shift. If you have any questions, please email us at gearshiftpodcast@gmail.com or visit us on Facebook.